Alright, and as a small preface, I had 1 or 2 drinks last night, so I might be slightly slower than usual, depending on the hour, but I'll try not to. Anyways, last time since we met our revolutionary heroes, they have conducted, after several weeks, maybe even months of planning, gathering allies, supplies, spreading the firearms into the population, those that are still willing to fight, those that still have the spark in their hearts, in this frozen land that is your home. You have managed to execute a successful raid, or rather infiltration and a sabotage, of a chemical facility that was on the border area between the Undercity, the slums, the bad part, air quotes, of the hive city, the megalopolis that you are living in, and the normal sections, like the sections that have more security, where the tyrannical government has more overt oversight, and when they have like the total control, which you had to do because after the scuffle previously, uh, when there was some fighting on the streets, as the government sent in reprisal forces and basically kill squads because the criminals found out about the rats. Essentially, this whole shebang escalated into the current situation because with how much chemicals was being poured, dozens, hundreds of people were dying from overdose every week, so that had to stop. So with preparation, manpower, you have sabotaged the facility. There was a close call. Most of the sabotage went off smoothly. You managed to infiltrate the area without raising an alarm. However, during the last segment, you had a close encounter with, as far as you can remember, Lieutenant Colonel Chugin, who was the chief security officer of that facility. However, thanks to the bombs you have planted beforehand, you have managed to gain an edge in that fight, as in you have forced him into a situation where he had to decide if he wanted to continue fighting you and try to capture Ivo alive, because he did recognize him from the APBs, like the wanted posters. I mean, wanted posters, like in air quotes, basically the sci-fi equivalent of that, like maybe some bounty list, some like basically their version of FBI's top most wanted, I guess. And he decided to actually retreat from the battle, and I'm pretty sure he was the only one alive, because there were like 2 nemesis out there in that fight, which was already bad for you as a characters, because nemesis are pretty dangerous. But the other one died being burned to crisp when the facility went off. So as he went away, you managed to escape, or rather Ivo grabbed Wedge, and after detonating the last, I don't know, basically quickly changing the last explosive so that it doesn't have to be triggered remotely, and just like set it on timer, I guess, you have teleported out into your like makeshift command outpost, like one of the bases safe houses that you have prepared for the revolution. And yeah, you have did some healing, I guess, because you are pretty injured, so Ivo expend quite a little bit of his power to forcibly like sew the tissue, like the skin, and like force the body to like heal more quickly. And yeah, and the entire base is like a beehive of activity. Obviously, this looks like a, you can imagine every like sci-fi like rebellion base. So the equipment is not top notch, and you have like maybe like makeshift like radio stations, basic equipment that's like tech level 3, like our 21st century equivalent, with a lot of cables going around. It's not tidy at all, but at least it works. You have people running around, relaying orders, or just like vigorously discussing about something, what they heard, what they should do. It's not proper military. However, as the situation goes on, it's clear that basically fighting and all of that involves, meaning not only like actual combat, but also like having a mind to like tactics and basically getting into the groove of like a military man. So you know, shouting orders, like talking like a soldier. It seems to be like ingrained in your people's DNA. So it's like even though these like NPCs around, like the other people are, they really haven't you really cannot call them soldiers. They definitely can be militia.
A well-armed militia,
Uh,
as our ancestors wanted.
yeah, I mean, you are from a species, rather you are human, so like you are from the faction of humans that has a long history of fighting and being formidable warriors in this entire sector. Alright, so what is your first course of action?
Well, once we are all patched up, we should probably check on Igor and the others to see how they're doing. And then we should probably... would the populace have shrugged off the drugs somewhat by this point?
Sorry, can you repeat that question, because I'm not sure.
Would the populace have shrugged off the drugs by this point?
I mean, the destruction of the facility happened recently, so I'd say you have kickstarted the snowballing process. Like with every passing like hour, like more and more people are like they feel like they waking up from a bad dream.
Oh, I thought you said that several months had passed.
Yeah, but as you were preparing for that chemical sabotage.
Yeah. It's not been months since the plant. That was 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Just double.
To be fair, some percent was getting, because they had resilient bodies, they got accustomed to like the higher input of drugs, and they like managed to retain their like fighting spirit and whatnot. But now, as the plant is destroyed and like the main supply flow of chemicals has been cut off, obviously like more and more people will get angry, and like the spark in their heart will be like ignited again. Not to mention that it seems like basically like the more people are fighting, it's like essentially like what's gonna happen is like this is like a very big tavern brawl. So you know, like two people start a fight, but because they start a fight, like other people start joining them, even though normally they would have no logical reasons to join.
So it's basically that scene in Return of the King when all of the orcs start fighting each other.
Yeah, in this case, the people won't start fighting each other, but they will have a target in form of the government, because some people were seeing that there are others who are running with weapons and fighting against the governmental forces. They will remember that this is who we are. We are warriors, not slaves, and maybe something will trigger in their minds. So like from the fact alone, there are multiple groups currently raising hell and attacking different locations within the upper city. Like generally just making a ruckus and targeting governmental forces. Basically playing home front to the revolution in a way. This will also like ignite other people.
Alright, first off, we need to gather up a cell in the slums. See which one of them has been undoctrinated and gather them so we can form a cohesive unit to storm the governor's mansion. Does that sound good?
Yep. Matt,
Yeah?
I'm gonna use this and suspend a heal. Specifically, the this thing. I don't need to commit any effort because I don't have to commit effort to do that. But
Okay.
I need to commit the one for suspended animation. But
Okay. So essentially this is like your contingency spell.
yes,
Okay.
this is if I'm about to be taken down to 0 hit points.
Okay.
Instant action. Pop that.
Okay. That's fine. Essentially, if you want to check up, Boss Lenny definitely would be in your like rebellion home base / safe house, because as the time went on, he decided to throw in with the revolution. You know, criminals turning into politicians. Hoping that maybe if the situation will change, he will acquire a better position for himself.
Congratulations. Once this is over, you can have the position of General Secretary.
Actually, hear me out. I'm not gonna suspend Psychic Sucker. I'm gonna suspend a teleport. Actually, wait, no, I can teleport as quickly, so I will do Psychic Sucker. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
Alright.
Okay. Okay, so I guess you start walking around, like checking up who is like combat ready and still waiting for some others, so you can like get.
If anyone's injured, I'll offer them some healing, but.
So you can like offer support. The flow of injuries is not that high yet, because obviously this has been just kickstarted. But
I mean,
you hear...
I can fix old injuries and like other stuff too. So
yeah. Oh right, yeah. Thanks. This will be useful. But yeah, they start like trickling in as you like look for people to support you for the government mansion attack. There's like an uptake of dead bodies, and when they are like storing in some other section of the base, you know, with blankets, trying to cover them, but also trying to like gather them somewhere so they can count their dead. Also because, and Like, I imagine this is like my canon for like the culture, because obviously with them being the warriors, like the warrior honor, code of honor, and treating their dead is obviously important. So this is not ideal, but they are trying to give the honorable dead as much dignity as possible. But yeah, if you do, I mean, even if you don't ask, like with the discussion between the other people, it basically you can figure out that a group tried to attack the convoy with the prisoners. Some of them being those hackers that Wedge would know from the dark web, and the other just hostages that were taken during the last raids, those several weeks or months ago. They tried to attack during almost the same time when the sabotage was happening, so kinda use this as a cover for their own action. However, that attack ended up in a disaster,
Oh shit.
and almost entire group, that rebel group that was attacking that convoy that was moving to the upper city, who knows where, maybe they had like special prison, or maybe they will move them next to the governmental mansion or government spire, like governor's spire. But yeah, essentially that group is dead, and sadly they didn't manage to rescue hostages slash prisoners from that transport. The rolls were not in their favor.
Sad to hear, but casualties of war are inevitable. So,
yeah. Okay, for that gathering the group for the attack, you can make me either, I mean, it depends. It's your call. It can be connect, lead, talk, skill check based off your charisma, and depending on the results, I will know that you will have these helpers. Like, this will determine how strong mechanically the helpers will be.
What kind of check did you say it was?
For Wedge, it can be it's his call. It can be like connect or lead or talk.
I was gonna roll lead.
Okay.
I'll help by putting on my superhero costume and standing behind him.
Alright, so that's 1.
Have no fear, for I am here.
7.
If nothing else, I am very hard to kill now.
Okay, so if okay, Simon, have you included? I guess you included the +1 from revolutionary focus.
No, I did not. I don't, just from Sack's thing.
Okay, so that would be an 8. Okay, that would be enough to get that. Question: do you want to stay with that result?
I could reroll.
Or
Feel like I
use your 12 for the scene.
come again.
You use your roll a 12 for the scene.
Oh yeah, roll a 12.
Okay, very well. Okay.
So which that's out a real inspirational, heartfelt speech about how they need to overcome the yoke of the tyrant, so that their children can grow up knowing how to return to the free men they once were.
Okay, the people, some of them like in their thoughts, some of them like checking their weapons, they all raise their heads and turn their eyes to Wedge as he's making the speech. They rise up as one. They approach him, and as Wedge finishes his speech, they all do the. Actually, I wanted to say that they do the Attack on Titan salute, so the fist on their hearts. But if you want to throw in different idea, what's the traditional like the salute for your people? You can like throw in your.
Go with the good old-fashioned Southern salute. Everyone starts firing their guns into the air.
Maybe not, considering you still need
We're still inside of a building.
Yeah, inside the building, plus you know every bullet wasted
Yes.
on something else than the enemy is. Yeah.
Yeah, I was making a joke.
Yeah, but the fist over the heart would be a pretty good salute.
Yeah, and they like dedicate your hearts. You can count on us, sir. We'll not fail you, or we'll die trying.
You will die trying to fail us?
Die.
I'm just messing around. I understand what you mean.
Yeah, fail you. Yeah, essentially, yeah, you managed to find with that auto success, like, even if some of them do not look like some hardcore killers, your speech like fires them up, and they will rise up above the occasion, above the Call of Duty, and they will, yeah, prove to be formidable warriors. Sure, they are not nemesis, but instead of being like one hit die mooks, their base, mechanical base, will be actually hit die free, so they will be more or less based off like military elite fighters. And they won't have the same like type of equipment, not all of them, but it's still something. I'm not determining how many of them, and you will see if like the fight with the enemy will happen at the Governor's Spire, and you will know why. But no worries, you will have them. Okay,
Good.
and let me check something. Okay. So I guess apart from the like speech and gathering allies for the Governor's Spire attack, are you doing anything else at the base? As in like talking with someone, or
Probably checking up on Roman to see how he's doing. Since he basically helped keep us hidden during all that time.
Yeah, actually, yeah, he managed to like, he at some point during this preparation he was helping, but essentially his price for helping you was that if like when this goes up in flames, like when this starts, he doesn't want to risk it. He has to think about somebody else. Yeah, because shortly before you kickstarted the revolution and attacked the chemical facility, he actually got together with his secretary, with Tanya. They didn't, as far as you're aware, they didn't have like a proper wedding, but suspect that maybe she didn't want to risk it all due to the revolution and just wanted her life with Roman. So before like the shit went down, he was helping, and now that like it kickstarted, he's probably closed up his taxi company and like he's like waiting, trying to wait it out with Tanya. Essentially, for the named NPCs that showed up, I made some rolls to see what's their fate.
Alright.
By the way, also to give like a perspective on time. Obviously things are now progressing at a quicker pace, however do remember that this is still Megalopolis and not everyone has access to cars, so even though like there are many fires popping out in different sections of the city, it's not like within the hour they will spread out and the governor will be forced to commit to the last resort. So like this will start like gathering pace and snowballing. So it's like, you know, there is this now the pressure of time, or rather like the timer is there, however it's not like that you have to do this right this second or you fail. There's not such oh god, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, you need to act quickly, but not just rush in blindly. So you can like take time to like prepare, just like
Quickly but carefully.
yeah, just
Yeah.
like Wedge was taking some time to like gather up people and give them a fiery speech.
Right, so we also need to survey the area around the governor's mansion. See if there are some weaknesses, and see how many forces he has. Now, do any of you have any drones?
Actually, let's see if you will be lucky. You can make a luck saving throw.
Alright. Alright, I need a drone, a GoPro camera, several rolls of toilet paper, and several jugs of gasoline.
Essentially, you can make me a luck saving throw, because we'll see, like, because this entirely falls onto like, were they lucky enough to get such an equipment? Or maybe like makeshift that?
Nope.
Actually you are 2 PCs, so if Ivo wants, you can also make a luck saving throw.
Hey, this is a saving throw, right?
Yeah.
Simon, how important is this?
Basically, mostly just for recon.
I can give you 1 reroll per day. Do you want this to be the reroll?
I mean, sure.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
There you go. Basically, it commits effort for day, but I have this nice fun little ability at level 4 that the stuff that I spend effort per day is per scene now.
Okay.
So
yeah, I made that focus, so
yep.
okay. So there is this moment of confusion, like, wasn't there someone that tried to make this craft this? Oh no, they got it. Yeah, sure. We have something like that. It's not like that good, but it should be doable. Essentially,
It'll get the job done.
there are some low-level drones that can be used, and let me double check like what's their operational range. Actually, primitive drones have a range of 500 meters. Maybe they have like one or two that have range of kilometer. Tech level 4. Maybe they were lucky enough to, when they were getting some equipment, they also got this. So yeah, there's this amount of confusion. They then spend several minutes like looking over the supply lists and like the crates of equipment you have stored for the upcoming fight, and like, no, yeah, well, we've got you covered, sir.
Alright, good. Now, this is important. We need to get as close to the governor's mansion without starting any suspicion, and then use the drone to reconnaissance the area. Basically, taking some snapshots of the amount of security and any weaknesses around the walls, or any good entryway that we could use. Now, do we have any volunteers among us?
We all volunteer.
Well,
This entire fight
well,
is...
one who knows who can operate a drone. I mean, or would that be would driving a drone be a pilot check?
Let's say I have pilot.
not really. It's program based.
Oh, in that case, it has to be me.
Has to be you? You sure there's no one better than you at programming?
Oh, for fuck's sake. It broke again. Give me a moment, because I think I might be able to, like... I need to spam something because the Roll20 bugged itself, and...
You are typing T.
Yes, because sometimes when you like move your mouse over the like macro, even though it's moved past, it's still visible. Like it. Sorry, I have like no words how to explain that. It like shows what you rolled, but like this.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That you just need to refresh on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like endure that because I have to open all of these handouts again. One time I knew it disappeared without refresh, and I thought if I just like spam the chat so that this macro would go
is
away.
no.
Yeah.
Try minimizing and pulling back up the page.
Yeah. Anyways.
I think it's a graphical thing more than anything.
Yeah, I think I wrote 12, so like what's Wedge's program? I mean that there won't be anyone with better program. I think you might find one person that has like equal, so also on skill level 2.
Alright, so alright, so going to have to leave Ivan base and basically hold the fort whilst this NPC and I go and scout the governor's mansion.
You don't want me going with you?
No, I want you to stay here.
Okay.
Mind you, like the maximum range that this drone might have is like 2 kilometers, and from your rebellion base to the governor's spire, the range is definitely higher. So we'll still have to move.
What
For-
is
Yeah,
the range?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That we have to get close enough to not garner any attention.
What is the range to the governor's palace?
From your current position,
Mm-hmm.
it's give me a moment to think. It's Megalopolis, so I'd say it's 6 kilometers, and actually make it 8 because you are somewhat deeper in the Undercity, and you'll definitely have to move for a few kilometers, like within the enemy area, like within the upper city.
Alright. I'm gonna tap my hand onto Wedge's shoulder. And then just tell him telepathically, tell me if you need help, I'll be there.
He gives him a simple nod. We might need some help later on.
Yeah,
Actually, wait. I have to be able to see it to teleport to you because I don't have the ability that lets me mark stuff. So, no, if you want my help, I have to go with you.
Fine.
Yeah. I
You
can,
join.
however, get us out quickly.
That is true.
Okay.
Right. So the rest of you start prepping for an assault. Me and Ivo are gonna scout the area and come up with a suitable point of entry.
Understood, sir. We'll be ready. And before you move out, a new arrival enters the base after going through the entire security procedure, giving a password, and you hear the voice of Milo and his short black hair flying through the wind as he enters with a bag on his shoulder. Everyone doing alright? We've managed to raid the higher up medical facility and they have fancy drugs. Oh! Hello. You good?
Hi. Yeah.
Why, you good?
So far, yeah. And he moves up to place the bag, and he pulls up several packages, and there are some drugs. Some of them are usual medicine, but a couple of them, not that many, those are rare. They don't even have specific label, but they do seem like a very high-tech medicine.
Combat stim.
Somewhat. Do you check it out?
What kind of check would that be? No?
Give me a moment. It can be either no based off intelligence or heal based of intelligence?
I'm gonna roll no.
Or rather heal based of wisdom, I guess. But no, no based of intelligence.
Uh, 7.
And then Milo is explaining, essentially, like, after he got fucked up, he managed to you broke him back to health, and for whatever reason he decided to throw in with the revolution, and he became a reliable courier of the revolution, like delivering messages across the city, risking his life with the patrols. With the 7. And he also explains that yeah, these ones were kept in separate locker, very tightly secured. We spent several minutes trying to pry it open. We finally managed to do so, but yeah, it was well secured. Wedge, you do not recall the name, but there were some stories among the people that some of the soldiers took it, so it didn't really increase their combat capability, but if they took it, if they had biopsionics with them, it allowed them to stay on feet longer enough, withstand more damage.
How does biosonics help with that? Just through more healing, or?
Remind me what happens when you heal with biopsying
So
someone.
it reduces system strain then. Because when you heal with biosonics, it increases someone's system strain.
Do you try to test them? Because they seem ready to use, as in you just can easily ingest them.
How many do we have?
I mean, it doesn't matter how many do you have, because you can only take 1 per 24 hours.
Oh.
And that's the hard limitation of that item.
Would I be able to tell if it works when I go to heal someone?
Yeah. I mean, you will be able to tell on yourself that the frayed nerves of your body get relaxed slightly.
Is there anyone in the building that's not going on the mission?
There might be.
Is Milo going?
I mean, do you ask him for something? Because he would be
I'd ask him to take one, so I can test it.
It's not like I was really injured per se.
We can fix that first if you want.
How about no? I mean for the revolution, but maybe we should focus on hurting our enemies, not each other.
Yeah, fine, I'll go find someone that's come in injured and give them the drug and then test it on them. And in fact, I'll try 2 to see how many times it works. Or probably more.
Okay, give me one. I need to check how exactly if this will cause. If suddenly if you give the second one, would that cause?
No, not a second one. Healing multiple times.
Oh, okay.
If it only stops at once, or
Yeah, essentially to make things short, yeah, it seems to be working. As in, you are pretty sure you find an example of someone that you know that you cannot push any more positive energy, like use biopsionic metadimensional energy to heal them. You give them the drug, and it seems like the room is there again. Not many, but
I'm going to try to find out how much more there is.
okay.
How many more times can I heal someone with the drug?
I mean, in this specific case, it turned out to be 2, but it seems to vary.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out, but it works, so I suggest we... How long does it last?
I mean, the effect is immediate. It's just that if you take it, you can only take 1 dose per 24 hours.
But like, if I were to take one now, for instance, would it last until I used it, or would it go away after some time?
I mean, you use it, you get the effect, and that's like the effect is there.
Well, I just meant like, should we take it now before we go into combat, or should we wait until we're about to be damaged?
It doesn't really matter with how this
Okay.
works.
In that case, I suggest we take this.
Okay.
Take the drug, Simon!
Okay.
Take the fucking drug!
Does Ivo take it?
Yes.
Okay, roll d4.
Nope. I should probably not do that in Japanese.
Okay, you reduce your system strain by 4.
Alright,
Reduce
I
or
also,
increase?
Reduce your system strain by 4.
Reduce means there's less I have to spend. System strain goes down.
Yeah, system strain goes down by 4 points. That's what I meant.
So it's having the opposite effect of what you said it does.
What?
Okay, system strain starts at a number, and then as you use it, it goes down. So taking 4 away would mean I could heal myself 4 less times.
No. It actually, like, your system strain should start at 0 out of... I mean, it starts at 12 out of 12 because you were healing yourself, like, a lot. Normally, your system strain should start like at 0, and every time you use it, it should go up. And if it's full, then it means you cannot be
I thought it went
healed.
down.
What?
in that case, I've got a lot more strain on my character.
Yeah, I was like, you have like 12 out of 12. I was like, wait, Ivo didn't heal you that many times.
I only spent 7. So that's why I'm saying that.
Yes, and I understand where's the disconnect. Because essentially system strain is not a resource you start at a maximum and then you lower it. You start at 0, and every time you add system strain because you do something, it's like it goes up. And when it's full, that means, for example, you cannot be healed through biopsionics.
Okay. So I should have 7. That goes down by 4.
Yeah, and I think, like, I mean, Wedge was healed a few times, so he should have like some...
He should just flip his, but yeah.
Yeah, some system
There's
strain.
4.
But yeah, Wedge can also roll d4.
Mm, 1.
Okay, so you reduce your system strain, whatever you had, by 1. Because sadly, I do not remember how many times Ivo had to heal you to get you up to maximum
Well,
hit points.
what was the system strain at before we
Yeah,
discovered
that's the
error?
thing. Wedge, like Simon put it like at 12 out of 12, so
Oh,
like it was maximum.
I think I only did 4 on him though, so.
Okay.
So I'm currently at 3.
So
Okay.
I could check, but there's a whole bunch of T's in chat. And M's.
Yeah. I mean, you can also like go like view all chat entries for the game.
Usually
I mean,
takes a while.
I'm gonna double check because, but this is how I always.
I double checked, it starts at 0.
Yeah. Yeah, because then it makes sense, because if you like regular rest, if you do like full 8 hours of normal rest, the system strain is reduced by 1 point. So yeah, it makes sense that you start from 0, you accumulate it by
I
doing
was
stuff.
7, so that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I only did 2 on him, so he is down to 1 system strain.
Alright. Okay. So even though you are not at full capacity, you feel that this pleasant rush as your nerves are relaxing, and you feel that the like slightly like I don't know how to explain it, but like you feel when your body is like forcibly healing itself, and you feel like the tissue like healing up, and that phantom pain or something along those lines, like it dulls and then it goes away as your system strain lowers. However, you do have instinctual knowledge that yeah, like this is like you cannot take another dose until 24 hours have passed.
Alright.
And out of character knowledge, this thing is actually an artifact.
Nice.
And this is called Micropurgator Steams. Let me double check because
I would be scared.
Micro something or other.
Micropurgator Steams. Oh, sorry. This is not a like pill. This is a spray hypo laden with revivifying cocktail of nanites and support chemicals.
So basically a syringe.
I have no idea how to translate the spray hypo.
Oh, a spray hypo. Alright, it's spray hypo. Got it. Alright. If that was all, we should probably get going then.
Yeah, okay. You gather your stuff. The allies begin preparing, moving out to the designated staging areas, so they can like react in time. And you begin to make your way into the upper city as close within the drone effective range near the governor's spire, so that you can like scout the area. As you travel in the undercities, it is more visible that like there are like people protesting, large mobs are forming, and people are rising up, and like the situation starts spiraling out of control. The governmental patrols are not seen, The drones are also not really flying. Any governmental property like cameras that were deployed across the undercity, they were often damaged, but now they're like being torn down, and like current is being like blinded as to what is happening here. Any buildings they had in the undercity, like reinforced, entrenched, like air quotes police buildings, police precincts, they are either being currently set ablaze because they decided to evacuate them and regroup at other positions in the upper city, or they are being currently sieged by a large mob. Some of them might be armed, so there are echoes of occasional combat and firefight echoing from different directions. Now, as you go from the undercity and into like middle levels and moving upwards near the governor's spire, the situation slightly changes, as in the spark of revolution also reached this place, and there are definitely some attacks happening, like hit and run strikes on important locations. Per your plan, trying to raise hell and attack as quickly as possible as many different places, so the enemy forces are disorganized, and they cannot really like gather up a strike force and like sweep the area at once. So there's a lot of confusion and whatnot.
Right. You think we should have mentioned the fact that the upper levels have a bunch of nerve gas ready
Nope.
to deploy in the slums?
However, compared to the Undercity, there are not that many large mobs being formed, because it seems like the effects need a little bit more time to wear off here. There are some groups forming, but here the government tries not to give any ground, and whatever protests start forming, and you see some aftermaths of some riots, destroyed vehicles, vandalism, sprays of blood, maybe even some bodies still left, maybe building being still burning. Yeah, the government forces here try their best not to give any ground, and whatever resistance they meet, they try to disperse it with lethal force.
Alright.
So, with all of that, as you are making your way to the position, let's see, because I imagine you are trying to be sneaky, I guess.
We like sneaky snakes.
Alright. With all of the situation, give me just a second. What would be...
I need about 5 minutes myself. If that's alright.
It's fine. Okay, what would be the DC for that? I think I know what I'm gonna do. Because the main thing will not, the role will not determine if you actually manage to get there, but it will be for something else. Okay, has the sound disappeared? The fuck?
Nope.
Ah, but because I reloaded. Oh. This broke. Okay. Fuck me, I guess. So this was that.